So one type of video I like to do on my channel, which, crops up from time to time, happens when, I'm facing some kind of problem or some challenge with my computer. If I eventually overcome it, then I like to make a video that, just shares my findings. Today's video is exactly that. Today we're going to take a look at the Windows region and language settings. This is one tiny, often overlooked setting with a strange name, but turns out to be actually extremely powerful. So I'm looking forward to sharing this with you today. More on this after the break. Hello and welcome to another Random Wednesday episode. Today, as mentioned, we're going to take a look at the Windows region and language options. Now, everything I'm going to be showing you today has been captured off my Windows 7 laptop. However, I've done a little bit of Googling, and as far as I'm aware, the same dialog box exists in Windows 8. So you should be able to follow along with this even if you're using Windows 8. Anyway, let's start all the way from the beginning and let's talk about the challenge that I have been facing. You see, I for one really have trouble actually, parsing and understanding dates in the traditional number/number/number format. Not saying there's anything wrong with it, it's just, not something that I can look at and immediately understand. I prefer my dates in this particular format, where the month is actually spelled out as an abbreviation. That way the date never gets too long, and yet it's easy to understand. I for one also really don't like slashes in dates, but that's probably just me being picky. Now, having written programs for a number of years, I've always known that date formatting is something that is determined by the system. I just never actually went in to see where I could make this change. After a little bit of Googling, it turns out that, it's hidden in your region and language options, which right off the bat, you would wonder, what are date settings doing under a dialog box called region and language? But yeah, that's just how Microsoft rolls. Anyway, you can actually find your way to the region and language options by either going through Control Panel, or if you're using Windows 7, by actually searching in the Start menu. The first tab that comes up are already the formats. So the setting for the date format is right there, and as you can see, I've already changed it. Now, if you were to click on any of these drop-down boxes, you get a small handful of choices. If you'd like to make a change and the format you like is actually there, then you can select it and you're good to go. However, there are further advanced settings that will actually let you tweak it to your liking. To access these, move your cursor to the lower right corner of the dialog box and click on Additional Settings. Now you get 4 pages of settings that you can play with. These are of course settings for numbers, currencies, times, and dates. Now, a lot of the settings under numbers and currency are actually pretty self-explanatory. For example, what symbol do you want for your negative sign, whether you want to use the metric or the US measurement systems, whether you want to display leading zeros in a decimal, things like that you can actually just explore, look at the alternatives they provide to you, which tends to be, just 2 different alternatives. At any rate, not too difficult. I'm still more interested in the date and time settings. You see, when formatting times and dates, essentially what you do is you enter the string, and depending on what you enter, essentially the date and times will get substituted for all the letters that you've entered. So as you can see in this particular time tab, I have things set up a certain way, and by actually following the legend specified in the lower half of the dialog box, I can actually change up the format. For example, let's say I really prefer 2-digit hours instead of, potentially 1 digit. What I can do is change this H to double H. What this means is if I'm looking at a time like, 2 o'clock, 5 o'clock, a single digit time, it will actually pad it up so that it says 02, 05, 09. You get the idea. Then we move on to look at the date, which is the one I changed to actually, make it conform better to my preferences as I described earlier. Dates tend to be even more dynamic because of course, just the month, for example December, can be represented in its short form as DEC or fully spelled out. You can also tweak things like the separator. As you can see, between my short dates and my long dates, the separators are different. My short dates are separated by dashes, whereas for my long dates, I actually use commas and spaces. Additionally, there is also this setting at the bottom of the dialog that actually determines how 2-digit years are interpreted. I actually shifted this a little bit as well. I believe originally the date was from 1930 to 2029, which I felt, I'm not gonna go so far back into the past, so why not forward this date a little? Also, there is this first day of the week setting. For some reason, it seems that, whenever you set the region of many devices to Singapore, what they do is they put Monday as the first day of the week, and to be honest, it kind of freaks me out because I never understand calendars in that particular format. So, well, if you have this set wrongly for you, for whatever reason, you can tweak it here as well. It's just these tiny little tweaks you can make to the formats of dates and times to suit your fancy. Depending on how much data entry you have to make, especially regarding dates and times, this could streamline the process better, because this helps you understand dates faster and type them out faster as well. In case you're wondering what is the extent of these changes, well, for me, the one I appreciate the most is the fact that it applies to everything in Windows Explorer. So if you're sorting a bunch of files, you can now see them with the date format that you've specified. So there you go, these are your Windows, numerical formatting options under the region and language menu. I mean, if you're a casual user and you're okay with living with things the way they are, you probably don't have to come here. But if you like to tweak everything like I do, then, well, this is probably something you can look at. It's relatively safe, there aren't too many risks of messing things up. And at the same time, you can actually customize things to a very large degree. So yeah, definitely worth checking out if you like tweaking stuff. Anyway, that's it. That's all there is for this particular video. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, you're watching 0612 TV. Hello! If you enjoyed this video, don't forget I appreciate every like, favorite, and comment you give me. If you'd like to see more from me in the future, don't forget to subscribe. For more updates outside of YouTube, do follow my official Twitter account at 0612TV. And if you'd like to see more of my work, you can also check out my About Me page. Once again, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, you're watching 0612TV.